Daniel had never thought of himself as a brave person. He was not afraid all the time, but he usually chose the safe option. He worked at a small logistics company, lived in a rented apartment near the city center, and followed the same routine every day. His life was calm, predictable, and quiet. For a long time, that felt enough. Every morning, Daniel woke up at 7 a.m., drank his coffee while checking the news, and walked to the bus stop at the same time. On the bus, he always sat near the window and listened to podcasts about history or science. He liked learning new things, even if they did not change his life directly. Knowledge felt comforting. It gave him the feeling that the world made sense. At work, Daniel managed shipping documents and tracked deliveries. The job was not exciting, but it was stable. His colleagues were polite, but distant. They talked about weekend plans, football matches, or office problems. Daniel listened more than he spoke. He was known as a reliable person, someone who did his job carefully and without complaints. BOW. One afternoon, while checking old files, Daniel noticed a folder with a label he had never seen before. It was marked Closed Projects. Out of curiosity, he opened it. Inside, there were documents about a failed expansion plan from 5 years earlier. The company had planned to open a new route connecting smaller cities, but the project was cancelled after several mistakes and financial losses. Daniel felt strange while reading the details. The idea behind the project was smart. It was risky, but innovative. He wondered why it had failed so badly. Later that day, he asked his manager, Mr. Keller, about it. Mr. Keller smiled briefly and said, "It was too ambitious. We were not ready." Sometimes it's better to stay where you are. That sentence stayed in Daniel's mind longer than he expected. 2. In the following weeks, Daniel began to notice things he had ignored before. The company avoided new ideas. Meetings were short and repetitive. Decisions were always made to protect the current situation, not to improve it. The same attitude appeared in Daniel's own life. He realized he had been living carefully, but also passively. One evening while walking home, Daniel saw a small bookstore he had never entered before. The window displayed a simple sign, "Stories change how we see the world." Without thinking too much, he went inside. The bookstore was quiet and warm. An old man stood behind the counter, reading. He looked up and nodded. Daniel walked between the shelves slowly. He felt no pressure to buy anything. It was enough to be there. He picked up a book about people who had changed their lives later than expected. The stories were not dramatic. They were about small decisions, slow changes, and quiet courage. Daniel bought the book and started reading it that night. Over the next days, he read during lunch breaks and before sleeping. The book did not tell him what to do, but it made him ask new questions. What did he actually want? What was he avoiding? And why? One Saturday morning, Daniel opened his laptop and reviewed his skills. He had experience in logistics, planning, and data analysis. He also had ideas. He had just never shared them seriously. Began writing a proposal for improving regional delivery routes, inspired by the old project he had found. He worked on it slowly, without pressure. He researched, adjusted numbers, and imagined different outcomes. The process itself felt meaningful. For the first time in a long while, Daniel was not just reacting to life. He was shaping something. When the proposal was finished, Daniel hesitated. He could keep it to himself. That would be the safe choice. Or he could present it to management, knowing it might be ignored or rejected. On Monday morning, Daniel printed the document and placed it in his bag. During the weekly meeting, Mr. Keller asked if anyone had comments or ideas. The room stayed silent, as usual. Daniel felt his heart beat faster. He raised his hand. "I have something I'd like to share," he said. The room turned toward him. Daniel spoke calmly. He explained the idea, the risks, and the possible benefits. He did not promise success. He only showed that staying still also had a cost. When he finished, there was a pause. Mr. Keller looked at the document carefully. "This is interesting," he said. "We'll need to review it." That was all. No praise, no rejection. But for Daniel, something had already changed. That evening, he walked home more slowly than usual. The city looked the same, but he felt different. He had made a quiet decision. Not to become someone else overnight, but to stop hiding from possibility. Whatever happened next, Daniel knew one thing clearly. A calm life could still move forward. It just needed a direction.